And finally tonight, changes are coming for Detroit Public Schools. The new superintendent, Dr. Nicolai Vitti, has been on the job about a month. He's just announced he's keeping on former Superintendent Alicia Merriweather, and he's aiming to put master teachers who have been training other teachers back into the classroom. He is candid about the tough job that he has in front of him, and he is especially aware of how he has to help parents and students in the district.
I think what our focus is when we're talking about parents is, one, making sure that their children are safe in our schools. We can't even talk about education if children aren't safe. So we have to make sure that we continue to do that well and consistently. And then secondly, obviously improving the educational quality of what they're receiving as far as children are concerned. So our main focus is on the 46,000 students that are currently in our school system. There's certainly going to be talk about recruiting parents back to our school system, but we have to focus on the 46,000 that are there now and improve the educational experience for those children. I think when we do that, parents will hear that, they'll talk to other parents, and we'll be able to return parents that have left the system to come back. And then we're going to develop new programming, especially for 18-19, that is dynamic and unique for Detroit. And I think that's going to be an opportunity to bring parents back that aren't even thinking about Detroit Public Schools right now.
So when you're talking about those 46,000 children and their experience in the classroom, you're talking about buildings and the conditions of those, but you're also talking about teachers feeling supported, or even having enough teachers to get in those classrooms.
Well, that's right, and that's why one of the first short-term goals is to be fully staffed or near fully staffed by the fall. We can't really talk about offering an excellent educational experience if we don't have a full-time teacher in the classroom. So right now we have 100 pure vacancies, 160 extra vacancies if you include long-term subs. We have to rectify that situation by the fall and function with a sense of urgency around that. I think the first step in that direction is finalizing the current contract negotiations that we have with our teachers. It will provide a small bump for all teachers, but it's not the salary that I think our teachers deserve, but that will happen in the long term, but at least it's a demonstrative strategy to increase salaries for existing teachers and new teachers that are possibly going to come into our school system. And then, as you mentioned, we got to change culture. So the reality is our district has been functioning in a state of chaos, in a state of crisis for some time. And it's been an approach to survive, not really the ideal scenario when you're talking about culture of an organization. At the end of the day, people don't want to work in an organization that's constantly changing, evolving, new leaders, new governance structures. So that's one of the reasons why I'm excited to work with this new elected board and stay for the long term to create stability and to be once again a thinking, reflective, visionary organization, not one that's just trying to survive. And I think when we change the culture in that regard, we're going to see teachers stay, and we're going to be able to recruit a whole group of teachers that are new to the profession.
You have to feel that sense of urgency, though, from teachers and from parents saying, gosh, we've had failed experiments. And when you're talking about failed experiments on kids and losing the time, how do you balance the urgency of saying, gosh, we have to make some changes and make them pretty darn quickly with this is going to take a little bit of time?
Yeah, I think that's just knowing the body of work. And so I think one thing that the board saw in my candidacy is someone that has led a large urban school district, one that with 130,000 students. Prior to that, I was in Miami-Dade, the 4th largest school district in the country with over 300,000 students. So I think my work has always been about focusing on what matters most, which is what happens in the classroom. And everything in the organization needs to support that directly or indirectly. And you have to be able to identify short-term issues that are immediate, but also plan ahead.
Our thanks to Dr. Nicolai Vitti. We'll be watching for more changes before the beginning of the school year. And that is going to do it for My Week this week. So glad that you joined me. Make sure you keep up with all of our One Detroit special reports. Just go to myweek.org and you'll find our stories and ones that you might have missed. Plus, we're on Facebook, we are on Twitter at MiWeek. So make sure you say hi. Tell us what's on your mind. For all of us at Detroit Public TV, I'm Christy McDonald. We will see you next Thursday for My Week. Take care.
Did you know Roush Enterprises was selected by Google to assemble a test fleet of 100 prototype self-driving cars in 2015? It also produced the new Domino's delivery cars. And speaking of Domino's, Domino's sells well over 2 million pizzas per day around the world, and half of their sales are digital. These are just some of the ways Michigan's pioneers started out as small companies with big ideas.
We are business leaders for Michigan. We are committed to making Michigan a top 10 state for jobs, personal income, and a healthy economy. Masco Corporation is proud to manufacture innovative and environmentally friendly products for the home. Delta faucets, Craft-made in Merillat cabinets, and Behr brand paints have all been designed with you in mind. Masco and its family of companies, serving Michigan communities since 1929. Funding for this program is provided by Delta Airlines. Keep climbing.